Hi, my name is Angelica.
My name's Sarah.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Is there anything that you're interested in? Any interest of yours?
Yeah, well, I'm interested in sports nutrition. I went to a dietitian once and I felt like she wasn't very helpful with I don't know, my goals and also I guess healthy eating within a relationship, because I noticed that I get frustrated with my boyfriend a lot, over having things around that I don't normally like to eat.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe some tips on how to eat healthier together.
Okay, yeah, I could definitely help you with that. So today I'm just gonna ask you to tell me everything that you ate and drank during the last 24 hours, just so I can try to get the most accurate food intake as possible, and just try to be sure to tell me everything, everything you ate and drank that you can remember, even the small things like butter and salad dressings, cream, candies, just so I can give you the best healthy eating information as possible.
Okay.
So first off, I just want to make a quick list. So if you can just name as many things that you can remember that you ate within the last 24 hours.
Sure. So when I woke up, I have 2 cups of water to begin with.
Okay.
And then I had a little egg white bake with some salsa. And then I had a piece of toast with peanut butter and honey.
Okay.
Yeah. And then later on I had a tuna quinoa salad.
Salad, okay.
Mm-hmm. And then I had a chia seed pudding with berries on top.
Wow, that sounds good.
And then I for sure forgot to mention, but I had water. Probably by that time I had an additional 4 cups because I worked out and ate lunch. And then and later on I had sauteed kale with some roasted sweet potatoes, some red onion, and tofu. And then I had a Greek yogurt bar. A frozen yogurt.
Okay. Alright. So now I'm gonna ask you to just try to tell me anything that maybe you forgot. There's a list that we have of foods that are often forgotten. It's called the Forgotten Foods list. So I'll just name some foods off to you if you can, if it brings back any memories or anything like that. So did you happen to have any crackers or breads, rolls, tortillas?
No, just the bread that I had in the morning.
In the morning, okay. How about any hot or cold cereals?
No.
No. Any cheese added as a topping on vegetables or sandwich?
Nope, I'm lactose intolerant.
Okay. What about chips or candy, nuts, seeds?
No, just the chia seeds that I had in the pudding.
Okay. Just chia seeds. With the pudding. And what about coffee or tea, soft drinks, juices?
No.
Okay.
I'm not drinking that.
And how about any beer or wine, cocktails, brandies, or any other drinks made with liquor?
No, I don't drink alcohol.
Okay. And what about any dips?
Actually, yeah, I had hummus.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
perfect. Thank you. You had hummus. That was with the roasted kale or the sauteed kale and stuff?
Yeah.
Okay, so the next step that we do is just gonna I'm gonna ask you like about the time and occasion. So, do you know about what time you had the 2 cups of water and the egg white bake?
I had the 2 cups of water when I woke up at 6.
Okay.
And the egg white bake was probably like at 7:30, and I would call that breakfast.
Call that breakfast. Okay.
Yeah. Along with toast with peanut butter and honey. That's breakfast.
Oh, okay. You
I had that all at the
breakfast.
same time.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you. And what about the tuna quinoa?
The salad that I had.
Yeah.
I would say I probably had that like at 2:30, and
2:30.
I would call that lunch.
Lunch. Okay.
And then the chia seed pudding that I had around 3:30, and that was a snack.
Okay.
I had that with the berries. It was mixed together.
You said around 3:30. Okay. Thank you. And the berries as well. You said. Okay. And what about the sautéed kale and roasted sweet potatoes and?
Yeah, that I had like at 7.
7.
No.
What would you call that?
I would call that dinner.
Dinner. Okay. And what about the frozen Greek yogurt?
Probably like 7:30. It was
7:30.
pretty quickly after I ate dinner.
Okay. And that would, what would you call that?
Snack or dessert.
Not good dessert. Okay. Great. Okay, and then so now I was just gonna ask you about like the details. So for your cups of water, how many do you think you'd say you had?
Over the course of the day, I drink like 3 of like my big water bottle that I have here.
Oh, okay.
So I mean, each one uses 5 cups.
Okay.
So I probably drink about like 15 cups.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
And then yeah, we have some props that you can use to help to tell me, you know, exactly what you had and stuff. Get some measurements. So this is about a 1/4 cup, and then this is like a little baggie you can use to show me too.
Okay.
This is a 1/3 cup, and then a 1/2 cup and a cup. And then we have some tablespoons and teaspoons as well. So I'll just leave those here for you.
Okay.
And so what about the egg white bake? About like, what do you think was in it?
So I had 3 egg whites in it.
Okay.
And then I had like a cup of sauteed kale in it,
Okay.
and then a cup of mushrooms as well. And I had some oil in it. I only had a tiny little bit of oil, so I would say like a teaspoon of oil.
Okay.
I try to be pretty mindful about how much oil like I'm putting in, so I say a teaspoon.
Okay. Thank you.
And the kind of oil that I usually use is like algae oil.
Algae oil? Okay. Okay, and what about your toast? What kind of bread do you think was on it?
It was whole wheat bread. The brand is Dave's Killer Bread. I had one slice of it. It's called Good Seed, and it has like seeds all around it. It's probably like a teaspoon of seeds.
You had
It's like
one slice.
yeah, it's like a mix of like flax seeds and like sunflower seeds, and I don't know, there's other little seeds on it too. I'd say like a teaspoon was packed around like the sides. There's a ton of it.
About a teaspoon, okay. And then how much peanut butter and honey do you think you had?
The peanut butter was probably about a tablespoon.
1 tablespoon. Okay.
And then the honey was about a teaspoon.
About a teaspoon, okay. Teaspoon of honey. And then for the tuna and quinoa salad, do you think you had about a plate, or how many cups?
Well, the whole thing was like 2 cups total, but I had a whole bunch of different things in it.
Okay.
Like I made like a big batch of it. Like each portion has like a 1/4 cup of quinoa.
Okay.
And divided among, because I made like 4 batches, divided among my Tupperwares, I put a 1/4 of a can in each one.
Okay.
So I use 1 can for 4 different ones.
And for the tuna?
That for the tuna was albacore tuna, it was safe catch.
Okay.
And I buy like the no salt added.
Okay, and no salt, you said. Perfect.
Yeah, and then I had peas in it. I would say like a 1/4 cup of peas.
1/4 cup peas.
And then like a tablespoon of chopped red onion.
Okay.
And then and I had like maybe like 6 cherry tomatoes in it as well.
6 cherry tomatoes, okay.
I think that was it. And then I made a little dressing to go on that. It was half of an avocado.
Okay. For the dressing.
And then like two tablespoons of Greek yogurt, the non-fat Greek yogurt. And then
Non-fat.
and then maybe like a teaspoon of lemon juice.
Okay.
And then a clove of garlic, and then like a packed tablespoon each of basil and cilantro, and then I blended that all up
Okay.
for the dressing when I mixed over the tuna quinoa salad. There was a tablespoon of basil and a tablespoon of cilantro.
And so, perfect.
They're both fresh, it wasn't dried.
Okay. Both fresh. Okay, thank you. And what about your chia seed pudding?
My chia seed pudding, it's like I put almond milk in it.
Okay.
Let's see. It was, I don't know, I would say probably like 3/4 cup of almond milk.
Okay.
It was like in between these 2 cups. And then I had like 3 tablespoons of the chia seeds.
Okay.
And then I do a tablespoon of maple syrup in it.
Okay.
And then I also do a tablespoon of cacao powder.
Okay. And this was homemade? You said powder?
Yeah, cocoa powder or cacao powder.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I had 3 different kinds of berries. I had strawberries, blackberries, and blueberries. And I had like 4 like medium size, I guess, strawberries. And then probably like a half a cup, I don't know actually. Yeah, like a half cup of blueberries and half a cup of blackberries too.
Okay.
Yeah.
You'd say it was about like that much?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was like a good handful. I just mixed that in with my chia seed pudding.
Okay. And so you said you had you had the 15 cups of water. And so, what about your sautéed kale and roasted sweet potatoes?
Yeah, so I roasted like a small sweet potato in the oven with like the tiniest little drizzle of oil,
Okay.
along with the red onion. It was probably like a quarter of a red onion, like because
Quarter red
of a
onion.
red onion. And then I wanted to use up the rest of my bag of like kale that I had.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like probably like 3 cups of kale.
Oh, okay. 3 cups of kale.
Yeah.
That's good.
And then I had tofu. It's like I buy like those like blocks that are in water. I had like half of one of those packages.
Okay.
Of
So
tofu.
half a package.
Yeah.
The tofu. And what about the onion? How much onion do you think you had?
I had like I said, the quarter of like a red onion
Oh,
on
okay.
it.
Okay, thank you.
And like I seasoned my tofu with turmeric powder. It's like a half a teaspoon. And then I use this like tandoori masala spice mix. It's like I do like a heaping teaspoon of that too.
Okay. Teaspoon.
Yeah. And then I had fresh parsley on top of that too.
Okay. And how much parsley would you say?
It was like I chopped up quite a bit, but like once it condensed down, probably like a tablespoon of parsley.
A tablespoon. Okay.
Yeah, of fresh parsley.
Okay.
And then I had some homemade hummus too on top of it all. I measured it out, and it was like a quarter cup.
Okay. A quarter cup of hummus.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then what about your Greek yogurt bar dessert?
It was just like
How long do you think that'd be?
they're pretty small. They're like these little 100-calorie things. They're like I'm trying to think. It's like a little 4-inch bar thing.
4-inch bar. Okay.
Yeah, it was like a chocolate chip cookie dough thing, but they're only like 100 calories.
Perfect. Okay. Thank you. So now I'm just gonna go over all the details with you and make sure that you got everything. And if you remember anything, just let me know.
Yeah.
So you had about 15 cups of water throughout
Yeah.
the day. For your egg white bake, you had 3 egg whites, 1 cup of sauteed kale, a cup of mushrooms, and 1 teaspoon of oil, and algae oil. And then for your toast, you had a whole wheat bread there was the Dave Killer's bread. And then you had only 1 slice. And then with that, there was flax seeds and sunflower. You said seeds on top, right? And it was about 1 tablespoon.
Yeah, like a teaspoon.
A teaspoon, okay. And then for the peanut butter, you said you had 1 teaspoon or tablespoon?
Tablespoon.
Tablespoon, thank you. And the same with the honey, tablespoon.
Or a teaspoon.
Teaspoon. And then you said you had 2 cups of the tuna salad, and inside you had a 4th cup of quinoa, a 4th cup of canned tuna, albacore, and you said it was safe catch, no salt.
Yeah.
1/4 cup of peas, and 1 tablespoon of red onion, and then 6 cherry tomatoes.
Yeah.
And then you said
I totally forgot. I had cucumber
okay.
in that. I bought like a huge cucumber. I don't know. I would say it was like 8 inches, but I like divided up between the 4 Tupperwares that I made that in. So
Okay.
I don't know. It was like a couple inches of cucumber.
Okay.
I would say when it was chopped up, it was probably like, I don't know, it was quite a bit. Maybe like a half cup of cucumber.
Cup? Okay.
Yeah.
Half cup.
Cucumber, yeah.
Okay. And then you said you had the 6 cherry tomatoes, and then you made a dressing with about a half cup of avocado.
It was half of an avocado.
Oh, half